Hey, family, and welcome to Excellence in Everything Live. I'm so excited to be here with you. Today's session is actually pre recorded because when you watch this, I will be just returning from New Jersey. But tonight's topic, I wanted to talk about two biggest lessons that I learned while pitching my business. I'm going to share with you the pitch competition that I participated in last week, in which I did win. I'll give you a sneak peek of what that pitch entailed. It was virtual, so you'll get a sneak peek into me pitching. And then I'll tell you the two things that I learned. And everything that we talk about on Excellence and Everything Live is about building the confidence, building the competence, and building the competitive advantage for teens, specifically in the realm from the lens of someone who loves and leads them in any capacity at home, in school, and organizations. And so tonight's C we're going to focus on is on building confidence. And I want to take you behind the scenes on what it's like to practice what I preach. Right back. We'll be right back after the intro. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be of excellence. You will achieve your highest goals and desires with excellence. Excellence in everything, every time. Hey family, I'm Linnita Hosten, your favorite student success strategist, and I coach high school students to stand on their own 2 feet after graduation with the goal of arming them with a PPP and not the SBA loan, but a post-productivity graduation plan. So listen, tonight's topic, 2 biggest lessons I learned pitching my business. I wanted to give you some insight. A lot of times I'm here giving tips, sharing stories, sharing other people's stories, but I think the reason why I changed our weekly show title to Excellence in Everything Live to give me autonomy over anything I wanted to cover. And I thought it would be special for you to get a sneak peek inside how I am also practicing the 3 C's that I advocate for: competence, competitive advantage, and confidence. And so last Thursday, I participated in a pitch competition. It was sponsored by an organization that I'm a part of, and the competition was for $2,000. And we had 5 minutes to pitch the organization or the idea that we wanted to receive funding for. And I'm proud to say that I did win. I took home first place. And I took home first place in the business category, and Jeannie took home first place in the nonprofit category. And I want to give you a sneak peek in on the actual pitch. So I'll let you watch the first minute and a half, and then I'll tell you the 2 biggest takeaways that I got from last week. Let me give you guys some peek inside of today's team. 95% of them have a mobile device, and 90% of them are using it to access social media. And 66% of them are reporting using at least one device at a time to access the internet. So it's no surprise that our kids are growing up in an accelerated tech evolution, right? So we know that, but we know that the increase of technology gives them access, it gives them community and connection. But did you also know that by them having access to technology, it is also stripping away their ability to critically think? It is also stifling their self-esteem. If you've seen the statistics around mental health and how it is weighing down on their consciousness. And I also believe that it is shortening their attention span, and data is proving that. All of this is happening while they are in the most critical stage of developing their mental capacity. Their brain is actually developing at its peak in its adolescence season. And on top of that, we're asking them to think about their first life decision while all of this is happening in the midst of their world. Well, I'm Linnita Hosten, and I'm founder of Excellence Brainery, where we partner with parents and community organizations to prepare students with what we call a PPP. And we partner with those organizations to provide the PPP and not the SBA loan, but a post-graduation productivity plan with the goal of helping students identify their ideal career and then devise a plan to go after that thing. So I know your first question is, okay, well, what problem do you solve? Well, we help students establish clarity about their self before they begin to dream, because No good conscious dreamer is dreaming without clear clarity of self. So that's one. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. I want you to take note that the branding is separate because Excellence Brainery is separate from my personal brand. And Excellence Brainery is the consultancy arm that I'm building alongside my personal brand. And it was a pleasure to do the pitch competition. But let me keep it all the way real, because what we don't talk about, those who are high achievers, those who are actively going after their dreams, those who are creatively coming up with new ideas and innovation and having the courage to actually pursue that, it's difficult. I don't know about you, if you can resonate with any of those adjectives or descriptives that I just gave. I can resonate with them, but also I can resonate with what it feels like to do those things afraid. So while I'm very passionate about my work, leading up to the pitch competition, I had a lot of uncertainty if it was even worth doing. If I am having those thoughts and I'm very passionate about my work, I have several case studies, living examples, my sister to be included as one. If I am having those things, then I can't imagine someone who has not yet tried or gotten forth or received the win, how they must feel in pursuit of something that they've never done or pursuit of something that they're thinking about doing, how scary that must feel. And it led me to kind of like wanting to bring home the two greatest lessons I learned last week while doing the pitch competition. And the one being, you have to believe it first. Like, no matter what the idea is that you are pursuing, going after, the concept, the vision, you have to deep down in the inside be so passionate about that thing that if no one else is like, yeah, that's a good idea, you still feel like it's a great idea because your pursuit and passion about it is infectious. You have to be certain about it. People absorb that energy. And you'd be surprised. Sometimes we think that people may challenge our perspectives, but when presented to others in a very thorough way, you may win people over without very little effort. I was competing against other women in the business category who were doing things that I defined as something that had more of an immediate impact. One of the other pitch finalists was pitching on cybersecurity and the vulnerabilities that we have behind our technology. And she was pitching to get funding to increase her team's knowledge. I thought it was definitely needed as someone who has actually experienced some form of cyber intrusion. And so as she was speaking, I'm like, oh, wow, we really need that. And so we may think that, let me rephrase that. We have to believe that the thing that we desire, have an innate interest in, the thing that we are so gun-ho about, it is just as equally as valuable, important. We have to believe that, and that energy will transfer. Now, I'll be honest, there are some people who will ultimately just by the nature of, people wanting to be an angel's advocate, they will have questions about the thing that you're interested in or the thing that you're going after. And that's normal. You want people to be critically thinking and asking you, even if it's in a challenging way. But I think the first lesson that I definitely got out of that competition is I have to believe it first. So as I was preparing, I was saying to myself, man, I was even asking myself, do you think this work is it working? The thing that people paid me to do, I'm questioning. So I'm like, man, I think that this has to be a common feeling. I know I can't be the only one feeling that. So yes, I believe that my work is powerful. Yes, I believe that it's helpful. Yes, I believe that it is helping to alter the homes and relationships between teens and those that love and lead them. Yes, I think it's valuable. And so I had to stop in the moment and tell myself that, yeah, this work is needed. And yeah, you should do that pitch competition. The second thing that I took away from the pitch competition is that you really do have to do your research. You have to know your stuff. It's not enough to have a powerful story. That is why I don't like being called a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm an edutainer. I take educational topics and I make them entertaining. A form of motivation is entertaining. Sometimes it does have some type of substance. Sometimes it is teaching, but for the most part, the bulk of it is an exchange of energy in which the recipient feels an improved mood, or they feel like inspired. There's a change in their like emotional state. While some of my work, the byproduct of me coming and sharing does do that, but that's not my focus. My focus is to be informative. I am always teaching. There's some type of science behind it. There's some type of historical meaning behind it. There's context into me making you a person feel good. And I would translate that to you on the other side of this listening. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, doesn't matter if you're not interested in speaking or owning a business, but you have to know your stuff. I am baffled by those who desire to have other people buy into their visions and they haven't done any work. Like when I say work, I mean, have you gone to the library, the local library, and looked up stats related to the kind of work that you're interested in? Have you gone and done, that's Nico in the background if you hear him. Have you gone and researched like the impact of the social impact of the work that the social impact that happens when things don't get done in relative to the thing that you're passionate about? Like, have you done the research to kind of like learn the demographics that are commonly suffering or being challenged by the area? See, when you know those things, you can speak to it. Having knowledge and a level of understanding about the population, demographic, the subject area that you happen to like be a subject matter expert on, it gives you talking points. It gives you ease of thought when you are being asked questions about that thing. It gives you confidence. I am amazed at the number of podcasters or podcast interviews that I listen to, and it doesn't have any substance. Substance is concrete. It is it's having a backing of evidence, even if it's firsthand storytelling or historical storytelling. You have to know your stuff. And one of the things, obviously, in the pitch competition, I talked about the demographics of Gen Z, how they are the largest and the most ethnic diverse generation here. And they will make up 30% of the workforce come 2030. So they are a big deal that we have to nurture. Being able to like fluidly state that off, like just with ease, says that I've done a level of research. People take you serious when you have some like concrete, substance to you. So when I teach about the 3 C's, building confidence, competence, and competitive advantage, confidence comes from like having a level of security that what you're communicating, very well. And so you got to know your stuff. Got to know your stuff. Those are my biggest takeaways, 2 biggest lessons that I learned last week competing at the pitch competition. I will continue to pitch. I'm applying for another one that will happen next month because why not? If I have the skill set and we could use the funding, why not? And so I say the same to you. Don't be afraid. Like, try that thing that you may feel uneasy about. If you are new to me in my sphere, you may have learned or know that for the entire year of 2022, I am waiving my speaker's fee to come out and be a keynote or workshop presenter for an organization. The only ask is that you would purchase a bulk order of my latest book, The Pursuit of Black Excellence for Teens. And I want to give you a sneak peek at what's inside the book. With over 30 activities, journal prompts, quizzes, short activities, information on prominent figures, and historical learning opportunities, plus QR codes with supplemental learning videos, the workbook is a great tool for group learning within community organizations and school groups, or self-paced learning with parents and their teenaged children. Awesome. So if you are interested in having me come and be a part of your upcoming event for the duration of 2022, I would love to serve you. Most of my clients, they vary. Like today when you're watching this, I would have just been returning from The New Jersey child abuse. They're having a conference for graduating seniors who happen to be parents. Um, some of my clients are a part of Parks and Recreation, their employment, their employees, um, all kinds of families from Jack and Jill, colleges and universities, professional staff, uh, obviously students, high school and college aged, Job Corps, military, rising professionals and young professionals. Those are probably the most common demographics or audiences that I'm often invited in to chat with. So if you're interested in having me, I would love to serve you. You can shoot a message to me on whichever platform you're watching this from, and then I will have someone on my team reach out to you to get the details about your upcoming event to see if we are available to participate. So that's all I have today. Those are my two biggest takeaways from competing last week. Again, I'm really grateful that we were able to take home the first place prize of winning that pitch competition. And I didn't mention this, but what we pitched, the idea was to host an event. It's a live intensive for teens in their village. And so I am projecting to host that at the end of the year. That is a big thing. I don't know if you've ever been in the planning phase of a live event. It's not for the faint of heart. And so the idea of doing that again when we just did it in the first quarter of the year, I will admit, it is a lot. So if we don't do it this year, we'll definitely do it in the first quarter of 2023. So that's all I have for you. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. Again, wish me safe travels. As you're watching this, I'm likely traveling back to Maryland from New Jersey. And I pray, I know, because the Lord always shows up and he meets me where I go, but that we'll have a great time. And I pray that you are also having an awesome Tuesday. I absolutely love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye now. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence.